Very happy and a very warm welcome back to the Sussex Daily News Channel version 2. This afternoon, we give you a piece of breaking news from US Magazine. What tore Harry and William apart? The pressures of royal life and warring wives. In April 2017, Prince William, Kate Middleton, and Prince Harry sat down together for a candid conversation about mental health, which they filmed for a charity organization called Heads Together. Seated at a table nestled in the gardens at Kensington Palace, the trio discussed the trauma William and Harry had experienced when they lost their mother, Princess Diana, in 1997. "It's incredible how you've been able to cope," Kate says to the brothers at one point. "I put that down to your really early years, but also the relationship you've got. You're incredibly close." Just 3 years later, Harry and William are barely on speaking terms. In January, Harry abruptly announced that he and his wife Meghan Markle were leaving England and their royal appointments to start a new life in Los Angeles with their 1-year-old son Archie. Now new details are emerging about what led to the brothers' heartbreaking rift. Insiders tell US Weekly that resentment started simmering during Harry's whirlwind romance with Meghan and finally boiled over during Megxit. Says a source, it's gotten so bad they can't even carry on any kind of genuine friendship without it being forced. Growing up, William and Harry were the best of friends, bonded by an unspeakable tragedy. No one thought anything could tear them apart, says an insider. As they got older, the source says, William was his little brother's protector even when Harry's rebellious streak landed him in hot water. When Harry acted out and upset senior royals, William was in his corner sticking up for him, says the source. But behind that united front, the insider says Harry felt conflicted and bitter about living in his older brother's shadow. William, who's second in line to the throne, was seen as the golden boy, the insider says, while Harry was never quite good enough. When Meghan came along in 2016, Harry finally began opening up about what he'd been through and got in touch with his deep-rooted anger at William. Harry felt really comfortable with Meghan, says the insider, so all these issues he'd been repressing started to surface. William, meanwhile, was concerned about how fast Harry was moving with Meghan and suggested he take things more slowly. William's bottom line is that royals are required to be less spontaneous, so he warned Harry to think twice before jumping headfirst into something so serious with an American actress whom he hadn't known for a particularly long time, explains the source. Harry was livid. When William warned Harry not to rush into marrying Meghan, it set him off, says the insider. Harry went ballistic and accused his brother of deliberately stirring up trouble. It was the beginning of the end. After that, says the insider, they drifted further and further apart. The insider says Harry and Meghan started plotting their move across the pond during their engagement, and that their bombshell announcement left William and wife Kate fuming. They weren't angry only about Harry and Meghan leaving the family, the insider says. It was also the way they sneakily went about it. William is so tired and done with the drama of it all, adds the insider. Seeing Harry cut ties with virtually every aspect of his English life and identity is so hard to fathom. A lot of people see this, parting with the family law firm, as yet another outburst, knee-jerk reaction from Harry to separate himself from the monarchy, and it breaks William's heart. All the while, the couples have been continuously pitted against each other, with accusations of stories being leaked to the press. There's been so much behind-the-scenes drama, in fact, that British journalist Omid Scobie is releasing a book about Harry and Meghan, called Finding Freedom, on August 11th. And biographer Robert Lacey, who's also a historical consultant on Netflix's The Crown, will debut Battle of Brothers, William and Harry, The Friendship and Feuds in October. And while the royal family's embarrassed about the books, the source says, there's a sense of inevitability. The obvious tensions can't remain a secret forever. Though there doesn't seem to be any immediate plan for reconciliation, those close to the brothers hope they can mend fences sooner rather than later. The view is that the boys need space and time to breathe, then hopefully they'll work it out, says the source. It's the one thing Kate and Meghan can agree on. The source says the estranged sisters-in-law both want to see things resolved. They're certainly not going to communicate directly with each other, but word is they want a resolution before things get any worse. According to the insider, Williams extended an olive branch to Harry. At the end of the day, the blood's thicker than water, and despite their differences, he still worries about his younger brother. Adds the insider ruefully, "They're taking baby steps, but I doubt they'll ever be as close as they once were." Meanwhile, we continue with other news. A royal expert tells OK magazine Prince William and Kate Middleton face a difficult decision over sending shy Prince George to boarding school, and will not make a choice until their children's personalities develop further. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have been homeschooling Prince George VI, Princess Charlotte V, and Princess Louis II at their Norfolk home of Admiral Hall during the coronavirus pandemic. But Ingrid Seward, editor of Majesty magazine, has revealed how Prince William and Kate are very carefully weighing up decisions about the future of their children's education. She told the OK magazine that the duo is modern parents, adding, "I think they'll wait to see how the children's personalities develop and take into consideration whether or not they would be happy to live away from home." Having experienced terrible trauma in his own childhood, William is very tuned in to his children's mental health. She pointed out that the parents might be particularly aware of the children's different personalities. While Princess Charlotte appears very confident and would suit the boarding environment, Ingrid commented that Prince George is a shy little boy, and comparing him to his grandfather, Prince Charles. But Ingrid also revealed that Kate may feel more secure if Prince George goes to boarding school where he can be tucked away and have more freedom. The expert said that this schooling may allow the heir to the throne to be very protected from outside dangers. The royal expert went on to say that the public has become used to royals breaking away from tradition, so it wouldn't be a big shock if the Duke and Duchess decide to keep their children in day school. Prince William was just 8 years old when he became a full-time boarder at Ludgrove School in Berkshire, where he appeared to thrive. Kate also attended boarding schools, including Down House, a girls' boarding school in Berkshire, which he left after 2 terms for Marlborough College. But while both of Prince George's parents thrived at school, Prince Charles attended Cheam School in Hampshire and then Gordonstoun in Scotland, later calling the experience disastrous. Prince George is currently a pupil at Thomas's Battersea, a €6,158 a term co-educational school in southwest London, where he can stay for another 7 years. Both Marlborough and €13,556 a term Eton take full-time boarders from the age of 13. Friends previously said the couple is deliberating a less traditional educational route for the future king than previous heirs. Meanwhile, Princess Charlotte also attends Thomas's Battersea, but while Thomas's Battersea has resumed its classes for 5-year-old Princess Charlotte's reception year group, it is unlikely she will attend without her older brother, according to royal biographer Katie Nicholl. 6-year-old Prince George's Year 2 class remains closed in the phased reopening of the primary school. Speaking to Nine Honey, Katie said, "If they're based at Admiral Hall, it would be very logistically challenging to send Charlotte back and keep George and Louis at home. It would mean moving back to London for the sake of sending one child back to school and possibly, logistically with everything else they're juggling in terms of official duties. It might just be too challenging, and that may be why they decided not to do it." Katie added, however, that she believes the children could resume their studies at school in the near future. "I think it's likely if George's year does go back, even if it's just for a short while before the end of term, then I think it's probably likely they will want him and Charlotte to go back," she explained, pointing out that both children will be moving into a new year group in September. "If nothing else, it will be an opportunity to say hello and goodbye to their friends," she added. Thomas's concludes its summer term on Friday, July 3rd, with its summer extension coming to an end on July 17th. Michaelmas term begins on September 7th. Katie said she doesn't believe Prince William 37 and Kate 38 will make a big deal of taking their children back to school, as doing so would be too disruptive amid the pandemic. She said if they do return, she imagines it will be kept pretty low-key and done quietly and below the radar. My news today is ended. How do you feel about it? Please let me know in the comment section below and we can talk about it. If you loved my content, remember to like and share my video for anyone you think may be interested. Besides that, please subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now, have a nice day and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.
Hello everyone. There are a lot of worries in life now. In order to maintain a good and sustainable relationship, it is also necessary to spend a lot of time for that connection. Here I am referring to William and Harry. They are all busy in their work, less in contact with each other, and therefore somewhat unapproachable, gradually becoming distant. Above all, the button here is the Meghan she had plotted to separate the two cousins. Meghan tied her Harry leg with an Archie, and memories with her. Meghan liked the freedom to do what she wanted. She didn't want to bow to anyone. And more than that, I feel that everyone has the right to do what they like, where there are things that comfort the mind, which always attracts many people. But not so that went into that incident and make sure that the above is based on human principles, the behaviors that humans must have. But Meghan has a bit of a hidden nature. Meghan's father is very bad. Tigers always frown when criticized by the public, sadly. Yes, I wish that one day William Harry will be close again, to give the intelligence and energy to your people.